I came here to Juarez, Mexico to talk to teenagers about living in the midst of a drug war. On the outskirts of the city, I visited this juvenile detention center. That's where I found Jesus Antonio. A few years ago, this place was filled with teens caught for crimes like vandalism. Now it's teens like Jesus, who asked us not to show his face or use his real name because he was afraid of what the cartels might do to him.
There was one that drove. Another 5 would be on the side waiting for cars. I would go and watch them. I was the one who supervised, to make sure it was getting done.
A supervisor in a Juarez cartel gang. He didn't say which one, and he's only 17 years old. Jesus ended up here when he was arrested 8 months ago for selling guns and for being linked to a homicide. You know, you're a teenager, and you were involved in this gang, you were selling guns. All the stuff that you were doing, did you think that it was all like pretty cool?
Well, when I think back on it, I realized I really liked doing it. Selling and having amounts of money that I never would have dreamed of. Possessions, cars, girls. So I started to sell. I started to move up. I started to get a big ego. When I did it, I would like it. After a while, I didn't enjoy any of it.
It's a dangerous life for the many teens who get caught up in these gangs. Dangerous because it's usually the young gang members who end up dead. In the past 3 months in Juarez, 60% of those killed were between the ages of 14 and 25 years old. That's the message the mayor of Juarez is trying to get across to the young people of his city.
When I get the police reports on those killed in our city, usually it is kids 14, 15, 16, 17 that started selling drugs that have been killed by rival gangs who don't want anybody intruding in their territories. And unfortunately for them and for their families, the solution that happens between organized crime is killings.
Why do they do it anyway?
They probably look up to the cars and the parties and the money, and that's, I think, what attracts them to it.
When that happened, it just was like a big boom. Like, I did not see it coming ever.
18-year-old Denise Moya has never been in a gang. In fact, she just graduated from a private school in El Paso, Texas, just across the border. Even still, last year, the chaos in Juarez turned her life upside down when her father, Willie Moya, a well-known entrepreneur, was gunned down in front of one of his businesses.
I thought I was dreaming because it was like at 3 o'clock in the morning or 4. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. No, I would never wish anybody what I felt that night.
Even though her father was well known, the police never investigated his murder. That's common in Juarez because the cartels often kill police and journalists who investigate their crimes. But some reports say Denise's father was killed because he refused to give money to the cartels.
They come to my dad's places and ask for money each month, or they were gonna kill somebody. We have to give money each month so that nothing happens.
This kind of stuff, it's happening, you know, and it's happening all the time, you know, and why?
Because they know that people are scared, they can do anything. At first, we were all thinking, oh yeah, it's just a problem between the drug dealers. But now, our lives, everyone here, like, our lives are changing.
The city lives in fear. And to keep it that way, the cartels are known to use some pretty brutal tactics. Fighting back tears, Jesus Antonio described to me the torture he saw and will never forget. Being involved with them and doing the stuff that you were doing, I imagine you probably saw some pretty crazy stuff. You know, can you tell us some of the stuff that you saw?
I don't even want to say because you're going to want to tear up. You're going to want to cry. In order to make them talk, I would make them suffer. We pulled out a fingernail. We yanked it out. He didn't want to talk, so we cut off his finger. He still didn't want to talk, so we pulled off another fingernail. Little by little, so he would talk.
Two different stories, two young lives, both destroyed by the ruthless drug gangs of this city. For Denise, it's now a life without her father, and for Jesus Antonio, it's one he's thankful he still has. If you didn't get in trouble, if you didn't get in trouble with the police, would you still be doing what you were doing?
Well, to tell you the truth, I feel that, well, look, who knows why things happen, but things happen. And if I wasn't here, I wouldn't be alive. I'd probably be dead.
Stephen Fabian, Channel 1 News.